There's Dragovic and Mazepin. Mazepin's going for a move on Felipe Dragovic. We actually come out right behind them. Beautiful into this next section. It's up the... Oh, Mazepin and Felipe Dragovic side by side through this section. We are basically just watching this fight through this next section. Here we go. Oh, Dragovic just hits the brakes in the middle of the corner. I nearly... Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, we're back with our self-created Formula 2 2020 Championship, driving as Nobuharu Matsushita for MP Motorsport, and we are heading towards the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Spanish F2 weekend. Guys, you guys can see currently we are so far ahead in the championship. With all due respect, I think it's a done deal, but the F2 races are so action-packed, it is still more than worth it to keep going with this series. We've got 15 rounds in total and we are only on round 7 now. So when we're done with the feature race, the season will actually be halfway. So yeah, for that, drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds. And make sure to go check out all the links in the description down below. Specifically, social medias, Falcon Gaming, and my second channel, iiTzAssassins Gaming, which I run with iiTzAssassins. Now, guys, heading in towards this weekend, obviously, you guys know Spain, for me, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's a very fun driver's track, and you can have a lot of fun around here. And with the F2 cars, the fun is 9 times out of 10 a little bit more than with the F1 cars, because all these cars are exactly the same. But we'll see what happens this weekend. Just a little bit of an excursion here in practice. As you guys can see, this is literally the only mistake I made in practice. So yeah, look, feeling positive for qualifying. The car felt good, and without further ado, let's head straight to one-shot quali. In the garage, just quickly double checking everything, selecting the soft tires, and quickly having a little bit of a gander here at our setup, guys. Like I said, after practice, the car felt good. Just having a quick double check to see if there's any little bit more tweaking I can do to make the car maybe feel a little bit better. But I think the car was quite good and stable where we were. That little mistake I made in practice was just a little bit of an overcook. Now heading in towards the first corner here for qualifying. Spain has got one of some of the most fantastic first 3 corners. Now unfortunately I have to fast forward there, guys, because you guys know the PlayStation, my PlayStation, sometimes it has a bit of a wonky recording where it lags. So yeah, through the first sector we were purple. We were first through the first sector. Through the second sector, a little bit too much curb for my liking through that chicane. Through the right hander, plant the power on the way out, open up DRS on this little back straight. Now heading in towards the hairpin, which will not be on F1 2021, because this is on F1 2021. This track will have a different layout. Into the third sector, bounce over this curb which we spun with in practice. Run through this hairpin, try and take as much curb as possible. We actually extend the track. Oh no, we're gonna start last. That's just great.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top 3. Sonoda, Tictum, and Callum Ilott. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye. Hello and welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. We're counting down to the start of today's race, and you can feel the excitement in the air. This promises to be a real spectacle. It's 730 meters from the grid to the slippery first turn, first of 16 corners around this 2.8-mile racetrack. Under better conditions, the long, wide turn 3 and uphill right-hander of turn 9 can both be taken at full throttle, but I'm not sure we'll be seeing any of the drivers doing that today. I'm joined by a man who's had many a wet race, Davide Valsecchi. Just how challenging will these conditions be out there on track?
Delighted to be here, Alex. Even in this weather, nothing will be easy for them. We may have standing water, which means visibility will be a worry. They just need to stay clear of the white lines and curbs. They can cause you a real problem when it's so slippery.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, with Daniel Ticktum alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ilott, Lundgaard, Felipe Dragovic, and Joe, Schwartzman, Sato, Mazepin, Jack Aitken, Samaya, Armstrong, Pedro Piquet, and Nissany, Giotto, Markelon, Galeo.
No, I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Guys, once again, excuse me for cutting some of the clips a little bit short. Once again, laggy recording. And guys, as if it's already not worse enough that we're starting in last place, it has decided to pee with rain. So this is going to be a monumental task today. It dries up nearer to the end of the race, but this is going to be a very, very sketchy start. Let's up the downforce on the front wing, and let's just do what we can do, guys. Let's jam together on the formation lap, and make sure you're subscribed.
I'm breaking into heaven. Which way to go? I'm chasing.
Guys, are you guys ready for the F2 feature race around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia? We head to 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go for the F2 feature race. Yuki Tsunoda and Dan Ticktum on the front row, followed by Callum Ilott and I think Christian Lundgaard, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go down to the first corner. It's squiggly for everyone because it's a very wet and slippery track. Ilott around the outside of Ticktum and Tsunoda. But you need to be very careful on your brakes heading into these corners because it's very easy to lock up and just go straight off the track. But Yuki Tsunoda leads the way from Dan Ticktum in P2 with Callum Ilott in P3. That is your top 3. It is Colin, it is Colin, Dams, and Univirtuosi, the three teams in the top 3. Look at this, my teammate Felipe Dragovic going side by side with Lundgaard. Here we go through the corner. Lundgaard gives Dragovic the squeeze, but Dragovic tries to hang it around the outside, but Lundgaard just cuts in right in front of them, and they are followed by Guan Yu Zhou in the second Univirtuosi car. You got to see it's just very slippery coming off the line. The car just spins all the way to third gear. Even in third gear, we have a little bit of a rear end wiggle, and that means we have to get off the power. So not the best of starts, but we are already in last place, so we can't lose anymore. But you can see around the outside, the AI just keep the door wide open. A little bit of contact there on my right rear tire there, I felt, heading through this corner. But now we go right alongside Sean Galale through this very, very, very long, nearly flat out hairpin in the dry. Well, flat out right hander in the dry. But it's side by side for myself with one of the BWT racing cars. We go right around the outside of Sean Galale. We try the second BWT Race Lab cars, but we get squeezed out. It's side by side for myself and Sean Galale. But now look at that, the door is wide open. We jump onto the brakes. I think that's actually Giotto or Mazepin. And I think that was actually Giuliano and Lacey who we passed there. Otherwise, it's just Artem Markelov. But beautiful move. And besides the literal pull away from the line, we've had a good first lap here, guys. So now we find ourselves right behind one of the Trident cars. I think this might be Pedro PK, if I'm not mistaken. But heading in towards the hairpin at the end of the backstretch, you got to see we slipped between PK. But he actually goes for a move on the ART. We have to take to the grass. That was a very, very risky moment. We couldn't see exactly what happened. I'll give you guys another camera angle as soon as the first lap is done. But that was very, very, very nip and tuck. That could easily have been a monumental crash. But we keep the car in one piece. We actually go a bit wide, where we actually invalidated our lap in qualifying, and we just managed to keep the position from I think that is a Lacey. We go up the inside at the chicane on one of the ART cars. I did not expect that. I was actually just a little bit late into the brakes, but the move is done, and now we are right behind PK once again. Is it PK or Delatraz? I'm not exactly sure, but here we go. No, it's actually Roy Nassani. Excuse me, guys, I haven't been up to date with the older, with last season's F2 drivers. I'm starting to get used to this year's F2 drivers in real life. But a beautiful move there up the inside of Roy Nassani. But now we look at a replay, what happened here with Nassani actually, now that we know who it is. And oh guys, I was just a little bit late onto the brakes, and I nearly ran into the back of the ART. That was so close. Like really, that was just... I'm glad it ended the way it ended, and that I actually decided to take to the grass. I mean, I even dipped the wheel into the grass there coming out of the uphill right-hander. But here you guys can see, it is actually PK who went for the move. He actually bumps Samaya out of the way. So PK made a few moves. I thought it was Nassani, but now I see. PK actually went up the inside of Nassani. Okay, so that's why I was behind Nassani coming out of the final corner. And then PK and Samaya just go side by side. And PK just doesn't want to give this up, but Samaya eventually just gives PK a little bit of a squeeze, and that is where it ends. We now finally find ourselves behind Pedro PK. I think this is the start of lap 3, guys. And here we go into the right-hander. And guys, I really quickly realized that through this corner in the wet, the inside is more grippy than the actual racing line. Remember, we are on full wet tires, and the more water that gets onto the tire, the more grip you have, as long as you don't aquaplane. And on the inside of that corner, the grip was superb. So I really quickly realized that was the racing line to take within this feature race. And as you guys can see, my confidence on the brakes is a lot more than the AI, and I was really just gelling with the conditions a lot quicker than I thought I would. And we are now behind Samaya, which had a very big, a very nice ding-dong battle with PK. But here we go. Samaya gets to, I take the esports line, take to the green stuff, and here we go. We just stay to the inside, get the car running on the water, and as you guys can see, we just close up to Samaya, but we make a beautiful switch back to the inside, a little bit of a dummy there to make sure that Samaya defends in the middle of the track, and that is us now up into the top 10. We are officially into the points paying positions. That is fantastic. Our next target is Jack Aitken, the second Campos car. We've got yellow flags ahead of us.
Aitken just ahead. Push for the position. Okay, gap ahead is 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh wets. Their tyres are 4 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:43.5. We're gaining by around 0.2 per lap.
Guys, just a little bit of a quick update there of our pace and how quickly we're closing up to Jack Aitken. But you guys saw there, oh, what a beautiful switch back there on Samaya. On this camera, it looks like we were actually a lot closer. But you guys saw with my onboard POV, it wasn't that close. But guys, this is the driver that retired, the P2 man, and also, very ironically, the number 2 car, Dan Ticktum. His engine just said kablooey, and Dan Ticktum is out of the race. So Dan Ticktum for Dams will start the sprint race in dead last position. Very sad news there for Dan Ticktum, but that elevates us up into P9, so that's 2 points against our name. And as we head on towards the middle of lap 6, you guys can see I'm starting to close up to Jack Aitken really quickly, but also at the same time, that left front tire is wearing a lot. Oh my soul, Turbo. Can you be a little bit early on the brakes? That's the second time I've nearly run into the back of someone at that corner. that was a little bit sketchy. I need to be a little bit more, I need to hold back a little bit more on the brakes. But here you guys can see, we are right behind Aitken. We're trying to move around the outside because that's where the standing water is. Beautiful move around the outside, but Aitken did. It's a drag race towards the next corner. We have the outside line. We are forced to dip a wheel onto the curb. It's a beautiful sequence here. We have the inside for the second part of the chicane, and that is us up into P8 now, chasing after Nikita Mazepin. Sorry about that. The F1 fans will know why I said Mazepin. Hashtag wink wink. Here we go, guys. Now this is actually me making a move on Mazepin the very next lap. Once again, the outside line for that corner is absolutely beautiful, and now we are right onto the back of, who is this actually? It's Roy Nassani's teammate. I actually can't remember who Nassani's. Oh, it's Sato. It's Marina Sato. There we go, guys. I'm slowly but surely getting back into it. But here we go. We're right on the back of Sato, which is right behind Guan Yu Zhou. And who's ahead of Zhou, actually? I don't know. Heading into the head, but you guys can see, actually, Sato goes defensive, and he opens up the door for me. And you guys can see the outside today is the line I like to run on these drivers, except for that one corner on the inside. But DRS has been enabled, guys, so it means it's time for the dry tires. It's much earlier than we thought it would be, but the problem is my teammate Dragovic is ahead of Zhou. If Dragovic pits, I need to stay out another lap because we double stacking an F2 just it doesn't work. You lose like literally half a minute to more. Actually more. You lose like 45 seconds, and you guys can see there Dragovic pulls into the pit lane. DRS is enabled, so we've got DRS on Guan Yu Zhou, but literally we are the only two drivers in the front pack that stays out. But the speed of this car, will we be able to stop the car to the first corner? We go for the move on Zhou. Beautiful move up the inside of Guan Yu Zhou. But guys, this is now where things are going to get a bit hairy. Because now not only has the strategy been blown up, we're going to see who goes on to softs, who goes on to hards. But we need to stay out now for an extra lap with tires that are going to start overheat on a very quick drying track. But okay, oh, it's a change of strategy. Sorry, guys, I just heard Jeff talking in the background. And, yeah, you guys can see we go onto we decide to go onto the hard compound of tires. But, guys, to take those hards, let's think about this rationally. 28 laps? I don't think they're going to make it. I think we're going to have to make a pit stop later on in this race for a set of softs, but we'll see what happens. Because this track is a high weight track, it's a high deck track, especially in F2 cars. But you guys see, actually on our last lap on the wets, we actually went purple first sector. So the pace wasn't too bad, but I highly doubt we jumped to the guys on the slicks. I mean, they are on slick tires. You guys can see, this is now the ART. Who's the second ART? It's Christian Lundgaard, and I can't remember the second ART driver. My brain. Come on, brain. Please, work again. We'll see eventually, guys. But he's behind iiLzAssassins, and you guys can see how much time myself and Guan Yu Zhou lost. There's Dragovic and Mazepin. Mazepin's going for a move on Felipe Dragovic. We actually come out right behind them. Beautiful into this next section. It's up the... Oh, Mazepin and Felipe Dragovic side by side through this section. We are basically just watching this fight through this next section. Here we go. Oh, Dragovic just hits the brakes in the middle of the corner. I nearly ran into the back of him. There wasn't contact, guys, but that was insanely close. Look at this, guys. Oh, if I was a few millimeters closer, I would have been without a front wing. Why did Dragovic just stamp on the brakes halfway through the corner? That's stupid. He can be glad he didn't lose the rear end of the car, but now he's under pressure from Jack Aitken, which, with all due respect, he deserves after a just silly move like that, even though he's my teammate, but that was absolutely stupid. And now we can focus on Mazepin as we head on to this next lap. But guys, let's run through the top 10. So Yuki Tsunoda for Carlin is leading the way. He is the leading driver, and he's got a very, very good lead in this race. Then you've got in P2, you've got Callum iiLzAssassins for Virtuosi Racing. So iiLzAssassins inherited P2 after Dan Ticktum retired. Then you've got, I couldn't see on the steering wheel. In any case, it's ART in third place, Mazepin in fourth. We are in fifth place. So we've had an insanely beautiful recovery from last place on the grid. Jack Aitken sixth, Guan Yu Zhou and Dragovic are battling away for P7 and P8. So that is Dragovic down to P8 now. You've got Pedro PK in P9, and Marina Sato is still in P10. But here you guys can see now it's time to make a move here on Nikita Mazepin. It's DRS on this very long main straight. We do have a high downforce setup thanks to us going higher with our wings thanks to the wet weather start, but the car just feels incredible in the middle sector. So I didn't have any complaints about this. But you guys see Mazepin defends beautifully, but now we're going to go for a switchback move through the third corner, but Mazepin just keeps his foot in there, but it's side by side. We actually do a switchback towards the outside, so it was not side by side. We try a move around the outside of Mazepin. Beautiful racing here from myself and the Russian driver. He pushes me onto the grass there, nearly lose the rear end. We are at the inside of T5, and that was a beautiful sequence between myself and Mazepin. What a run there. And now we jump onto a few laps later as we have actually caught up towards the drivers ahead. Callum Arlott, and can I just please figure out who's this ART driver? I know Lundgaard is the one behind, but look at the move up the inside. Oh, what a beautiful move there we make. Oh my word, guys, I'll figure out who that driver is in just a second. I can guarantee you guys I'm going to feel stupid because it's probably somebody very, very popular in the F2 community. But now it's time to go on to Callum Arlott, and once again exactly the same move that we pulled on the ART driver. Oh, Callum Arlott pushes me onto the grass. That's very, very wide. Arlott was very punchy there through that corner, but we maintained it around the outside. Wait, it is Christian Lundgaard in P4? How did he get there? Okay, not the point, guys. We'll just remember who the other ART driver is eventually, but basically we made a move on Christian Lundgaard. But you guys can see Callum Arlott is taking no prisoners. He's really giving me a hard time. And as you guys can see, it's lap 20, and look at my left front tire. It's already on 53%. There's no way I'm taking these tires to the end. We're going to have to make another pit stop, but we'll make sure we stretch these tires long enough so that we can go onto a set of softs, so that we still have a fresh set of hards for the sprint race. But here we go, guys, on Callum Arlott. You guys can see it's just a very, I can't get close enough to Arlott, but I have to say I was a little bit cheesed off when he pushed me basically off track heading into T5, but we'll get him now through the final chicane. Here we go. We have a beautiful exit coming out of the final corner. Plant the power through the final corner. You guys can see I've just got so much more confidence than Callum Arlott. DRS is open, heading down the main straight. Arlott doesn't know where to go. He defends the inside. We pull to the outside, but this move's got to be done before we get to the first corner. Take the esports line on the way in. Arlott is actually still there, but we cut off his front wing, and that is up now, up into P2. It's a Japanese driver lineup 1-2 for myself and Yuki Tsunoda. But now, can we chase after Yuki Tsunoda?
The gap to the car ahead is 9.0 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 11 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 32.1. You're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
Guys, the only reason we lost a 10th that previous lap was because we were busy battling with Arlott. But guys, here's what I said. Look, even Callum Arlott, even the AI, who thought that the one stop from the wets to the hards would work, are not going to make it to the end. So they are also boxing, but the question is, are they going on to a second set of hards, or are they going soft? Because I'm staying out for about 5-6 more laps. But you guys can see there's a lot of drivers diving into the pit lane to get off this set of hard tires. But I think actually this group is going on to a second set of hards, because it doesn't make sense. They are pitted way too early to go onto the softs. The softs will never last. The softs wear like 6-7% per lap. Especially that left front tire. That left front tire is always in agony around here. But you guys can see they go onto a second set of hard tires. So they are going to be quick, but like myself and Yuki Tsunoda, obviously Tsunoda didn't have as much tire wear because he just had to maintain the pace. But Tsunoda is into the pit lane, a little bit of a lockup heading into the lane, but he is going onto a set of soft tires. I can confirm to you guys, but we are staying out a few laps longer because we want to make sure that our tires make it to the end. So we are not coming in this lap. We're going to stay out for 2 more laps before we dive it in. And as you guys can see, Tsunoda goes onto the red-walled soft compound tires. So Tsunoda is going to be blisteringly quick at the end of this race, but he's going to have no grip left at the end of this Grand Prix. You guys can see it's the end of lap 26. That left front is screaming. There's still more than 10 laps to go, and it's already on 53%. There's no way that tire is getting to the end. It will give me a puncture. So we are boxing at the end of this lap. Yuki boxed at the end of lap 24. We did lap 25. No, wait. Let me see. I think it's actually the lap where I stay out. Let's just make double sure here. Did you guys see that already? That left front is just screaming in agony. No, we actually stay out. So Yuki boxed at the end of lap 25. I'm boxing at the end of lap 27 so that the softs only need to go 10 laps, because that is still pushing it a bit, but I know they can make it. You guys can see I say to Jeff, box this lap, so we are pushing for this in lap. Jack Aitken behind us is also coming in, so Aitken will definitely be going onto the softs. I mean, if Yuki did, Jack will as well. So for Campos Racing, Jack is into the lane, he's going onto the softs, and I think we are now waiting to see, yes, there he comes, the Carlin driver, Yuki Tsunoda, comes through the final corner, and it's going to be a Japanese war for this race win, because guys, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I felt fantastic here around Barcelona. I really messed up my entire weekend with my terrible quali result, but we are making a fantastic recovery. It is now time to push like mad, especially those final 10 laps on the softs. So guys, on F2, every single lap of tire life counts, especially in these 100% races. You really have to, tire management is a big thing, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, because I started last, tire management was the last thing on my brain. I pushed like an absolute insane animal, and when I saw the AI were also coming into the lane for 2 stops, I knew that my push strategy was the right one to do. But then you've got this man, Guan Yu frickin' Zhou, the Chinese driver, is actually going to the end on his hard tires. So Zhou, I do not want to know how those tires are going to look at the end of this race, but Zhou inherits the lead now, because he is one of a very few drivers actually going with the 1 stop. So Zhou takes the lead now away from myself. Yuki Tsunoda will resume in P2, and I will resume in P3. There's Tsunoda heading through the first corner. You guys can see the gap is insane, but literally I think me and Zhou gained like, no, me and Tsunoda, we literally gained like 2 to 2.5 seconds a lap on Zhou. So the gap might be kind of big, but the tire difference makes a big difference. And the thing is, we are on fresh softs. Zhou is on old hards. Yes, our tires are going to wear out a lot quicker, but we are still going to have more grip than him until the end of the Grand Prix. So you guys can clearly see that as we run through the top 10. It's just, there is so much going for us now. And here's the thing. So Zhou is in the lead. Tsunoda is catching Zhou, but we are catching Tsunoda. So basically, I'm the fastest car on track. We go over the line for lap 30.
Lap of the race. Keep this up.
Thank you, Jeff, and we set the fastest lap of the race. We head towards the end of lap 30, onto the lap 31, through the final chicane again. Once again, just throw the car into this final corner and just plant the power on the way out. And now we set a 1 minute 28.8.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Once again, thank you, Jeff. Guys, you guys can see we head on towards the end of lap 33, and we are now doing red sectors, but we are still the fastest car on track. I checked the race director a few times, and look at the gap between myself, Tsunoda, and Zhou. It is 4 seconds from me to the leader, and the thing is, basically Tsunoda is right in between. This is going to be literally a final lap dash for a final lap finish. But you guys can see, look at that left front already. It's already heading towards 60%. And we have not even done the full 10 laps. That shows you guys how insanely hard I've been pushing. We now head towards the end of the second sector. For lap 35, we've got basically 2 1/3 lap to go, and here we go into the third sector. You guys can see my higher downforce is just giving me so much pace in the second and third sectors. Tsunoda and Zhou have got nothing they can do about it, but now it is a Chinese driver versus 2 Japanese drivers, and this is going to be an insane finish. A little bit of a rear end squiggle there coming out of the corner. Guys, the other 3 tires feel fine. It's just that left front that feels like absolute booty. It does not feel good. But here we go. Down the main track, we start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Well, no, not of the Grand Prix, of the feature race. F2 is not seen as a proper Grand Prix, but it's seen as just a race. So sorry for that. This is the very important F1 people. We head towards we start the penultimate lap of the feature race here. 1.3 seconds between myself and Zhou, and about also just over a second between Zhou and Tsunoda. Here comes that yellow Uni Virtuosi, followed by the Red Bull liveried Carlin, and then the orange and black liveried MP Motorsport car driven by myself as Nobuharu Matsushita. Here we go, into the second sector. Guys, we are all in the same shot most of the corners. I mean, here comes Zhou, there's Tsunoda, there's myself in the background. This is going to be insane, this next camera angle, look at this. There we go. You can see, you can actually, from the back of Zhou's car, you can see Tsunoda and myself just creeping up. But I think we might just run out of time, guys, because remember, this is the penultimate lap. And we are now in the third sector. We're going to cross the line with 1 lap to go, and all 3 of these cars are going to be nose to tail. There we go. Oh my word, this is going to be a grandstand finish. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what happens. Through the chicane for the penultimate time, through the final corner for the penultimate time, and let's start the final lap of the F2 feature race here in Spain. Here we go. DRS is open for myself. Oh my word, I'm not going to have a voice by the end of this race, and guys, trust me, the sprint race is just as good. Here we go. Into the first corner. We're not close enough to Sonoda to make a move, but we have to make a move quickly if we want to try and win this race. Will this be a last to first challenge, or will it just be, just we're missing out on it by a little teeny weeny bit? Here we go. This is now myself once again versus Yuki Sonoda, but Sonoda has been driving beautifully, but just not as quick as we are. We go up the inside of Yuki Sonoda through T4, heading into T5. We've got the outside line. Are we going to make the move? Stick around the outside? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We've got 2 sectors to catch Guan Yu Zhou, but Zhou, I think Zhou is just he's nursing these tires. Those tires look absolutely terrible. You can actually see like the grain in the center of the left-hand side of the car, like the center of the tires on the left-hand side of the car, your right side at this moment. You can see the graining in the middle. It is actually insane. We head into the final sector. I'm so close to Zhou. I can smell his gearbox oil, but it might be too little too late. 75% on the left front tire. And you actually go wide where we didn't quali. We don't get a track extension warning, luckily. But guys, it's too little too late. And literally in the final few corners, my tires just absolutely gave up. Guan Yu Zhou will take a monumental win here in Spain, but we come home in P2 from last place on the grid.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
A great win then for the Uni Virtuosi team today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way around.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race. Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Nobuharu Matsushita is my favorite one. Today was amazing. He made so many overtakes.
Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Guys, what an absolutely insane feature race here around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Guys, look, I would have loved to win this one, but I mean, we started last place on the grid in terrible conditions, and we came through to finish in P2. Probably one of my best drives ever on any F1 game. This was literally one of my best drives. No safety cars or nothing. This was pure pace. We drove ourselves back into P2, and I think that is an achievement we can be very, very, very proud of. But guys, that has been this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Remember, you are watching the feature race. The sprint race will be posted first thing tomorrow, so don't go anywhere for too long, because the sprint race, trust me, like I said, it's just as insane as the feature race. It's been an insane one. I just think if we did a little bit more tire management in that final stint with the softs, we might have had a little bit more of a chance, but in the same sense, we might not have caught up to Zhou and Sonoda when we did. Even with pushing, we only caught them literally on the final lap. So tomato, you know, it could have gone any way. I did what I thought was the best strategy at that stage, and I just pushed like hell. So that is the result, so very proud of it, even though you can't win them all, but that felt absolutely fantastic, and I'm proud of this result. Guys, before you go, please make sure to drop a like down below on the video if you haven't done it yet so far. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. Make sure to check out the links in the description down below, specifically social media, my personal social media, Falcon Gaming. Go check out my South African gaming clan, as well as my second channel, Forza Watch Gaming, that I run with iiTzAssassins. And the last thing before you go, if this is your first time visiting Turbo Fox Races and you are not yet subscribed and you have witnessed this awesome comeback drive, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe down below and don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode here on Turbo Fox Races. I'll see you guys for the sprint race tomorrow. Love you guys, and let's get it tomorrow. Cheers!